Hey everybody, it's TotalGamerJunkie and I'll welcome you all back to my channel. Now I know I still gotta upload Legacy of the First Hidden Blade, I'm going to do that, but before I do, I was out for a jog and I found this out, so I thought I'd mention it. So when I was out for a jog, like I listened to not really music, I listened to game clips and all that, and I was actually listening to the video I was actually listening to if you remember this scene in Red Dead Redemption 2, it's when Arthur and the gang go to rob the Saint Denis Bank, and it's mission number 57, and I was actually listening to it on my headphones when I was jogging from the video from the YouTube channel, the GTA series videos. Now they what do you call it? Now I recommend you taking a look at their channel if you want to figure out how to get the gold medals for the story missions, because that's what the video I was listening to was. It was the whole mission, but it was also showing you what you have to do to get the gold medals. So while I was listening to it, I overheard when I was jogging, I overheard Bill Williams say in the video, the not this one, the GTA, the one with the GTA videos and that, the YouTube channel. I overheard Bill Williams say, and I quote, "This is worse than Blackwater." Now, obviously, he means the Blackwater Massacre, and that's pretty interesting if he's saying that what's happening now in this mission is worse than the Blackwater Massacre. Now, in case none of you don't know, this game, Red Dead Redemption 2, literally takes place after that massacre. There are brief mentions of it in Red Dead Redemption 1, but we get more information we get more information about the massacre in Red Dead 2. And actually, I got like the thing up here, and I want to read it to you what it's about. So, the Blackwater Massacre was a bloody gunfight involving outlaws, the Blackwater Police Department, and Landon Ricketts. He was in Red Dead Redemption 1 when John Marston arrives at Mexico, in case any of you don't know who that is. That took place in the town of Blackwater in May 1899. By 1911, the massacre had gained wide publicity. Publicity. I'm saying plub with an L. Had gained wide publicity due to the number of men killed and the fact that it took place in such a highly populated and modernized town. Now it's pretty interesting to hear that Landon Ricketts was there because as you know, what's it called? As we all know, he was in Red Dead 1 and John didn't know who he was until we mentioned these names, and John was like, "You're a famous gunslinger from when I was a kid." So, and I'm pretty sure that John was there. It was Bill, Javier, Micah, Dutch, and John, I believe. I believe John was there as well during the Blackwater Massacre, and I'm surprised that Landon Ricketts didn't remember him, but since this game is 12 years later, you can't really be expected to remember someone's face that you see during a shootout, like, if it doesn't affect you in any way or whatsoever, you know what I mean? But anyways, moving on. According to the accounts of the incident, the Vanderlyn gang attempted to rob a ferry carrying over $150,000. The robbery was going successful until Dutch himself shot a young woman named Heidi McCourt in the head. After said event, agents of the Pinkerton National Detective Agency, bounty hunters, and other law enforcement bodies swarmed the small city and attacked the gang during the escape. While not exactly clear how, but members Davey and Matt Callender, Jenny Kirk, and John Marston were all shot, with Davey and Jenny being shot fatally. It's also unclear how, but Sean McGuire was knocked out and taken by bounty hunters while following a lead in town. Arthur Morgan and Hosea Matthews missed most of the action but escaped with the gang back to camp and packed up and headed north. It is said by most that 37 men were killed, consisting of 22 outlaws and 15 members of the Blackwater Police Department. However, only 3 confirmed deaths are shown, but it could be assumed that the other outlaws/hired guns were present at the massive gunfight along with the Vanderlyn gang. So that's interesting. So 37 men were killed, so 22 of them were outlaws, and 15 members were of the Blackwater Police Department. Now, how can the Saint Denis bank job, how can that be worse? That's I don't know, like maybe for Bill, like, cause as you can say, as I was reading it up here, after said events, it says that So Davy and McCallender. I'm pretty sure it's Davy McCallender, isn't it? Yeah. Davy Callender and Mac Callender, Jenny Kirk and John Marston were shot. They were there as well, and I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure that Bill was there too. But yeah, and so like I guess you could say because they had more open area to run around in that and shoot and fight for survival. I guess you could say from that point, they were able to escape. They were able to have more areas to move around in that. But I don't know. I just thought it's a bit weird. So I just want to keep reading here. Following the shootout, the area around Blackwater was put into lockdown with Pinkerton patrols all over the town itself and the nearby Great Plains, which will remain in place for a significant portion of the year. It is thought that the town took a long time to get over the incident, with the bartender in 1907 saying how the townsfolk said that the Blackwater would never recover. The Vanderlyn gang itself was also hit hard, having to escape north into the mountains of Ambarino, eventually settling into a town named Colter. Morale among the members was extremely low following the massacre, with Arthur and Hosea in particular blaming Micah for persuading Dutch to go ahead with something so reckless, when they already had their own good lead. Several gang members were shot, and its effect on them is as follows. John was shot during the massacre, although it was most likely a fairly minor injury, as he was sent out scouting shortly afterwards when the gang had reached Ambarino. Davy was mortally wounded during the shootout and went with the gang to Colter. He passed away shortly after reaching Colter and was buried there. Mac was also shot, and he was unable to leave with the escaping gang. He was found by Agent Milton shortly afterwards, who described Mac as pretty shot up by the time he reached him. Mac was questioned by the detective, but after revealing nothing, Milton killed him. Jenny was shot, although it's unknown whether she died at the scene or during the gang's escape. Although she does die before Davy, she is buried just north of Colter. Although Sean wasn't shot, he was captured by bounty hunters led by Ike Skelding, who intended to transfer him to a federal prison. He was also tortured at some point, but refused to reveal anything. Sean was later rescued by fellow gang members. Landon Ricketts, and we got survivors here. Landon Ricketts is supposedly one of the only survivors of the incident. The massacre apparently led him to move south of the border to Chuparosa. His status as one of the only survivors has made him popular and given him a legendary status throughout West Elizabeth and beyond. Judging by the quotes of Willie Oates, he too could have been a survivor. It is later revealed that a majority of the Vanderlyn gang escaped, but it would seem to the public that he would have perished in the fight. Yeah, so Landon Ricketts is one of the only survivors of the incident, and honestly, you know, if they were to make a Red Dead Redemption 3, because I mentioned this in a video before, where I believe we'll play as Jenny McCormick, Jenny Kirk, not McCormick, sorry. Jenny Kirk. I do believe we'll be playing as Jenny Kirk in the third game. Well, honestly, I would love that to have a female lead in a Rockstar game. Anyways, I do believe we're playing as her, and I do believe towards the end of the game we'll get to play as Landon Ricketts. Now, I know in Red Dead Redemption 1, John dies and we play as Jack. Arthur dies in Red Dead Redemption 2, we play as John. So it makes sense, like, whoever we play as has to die, and it makes sense for us to take over as Arthur, if you think about it. But I really think it'd be cool to play as Landon Ricketts. And we got something else here, trivia. Another possible yet unconfirmed victim of the Blackwater Massacre is Maybelle, Archer Fordham's mother. Dialogue from the Red Dead Redemption game file state, I hear that bureau fella's never been the same since his mother got shot in the massacre. Maybelle appears to have survived being shot during the massacre, but she died not long afterwards on July 24th, 1900, and you know, like the beginning of the 20th century, and was buried at Blackwater Cemetery. While not directly mentioned as the Blackwater Massacre, many mentions are made that fill in the gaps, most notably the second last newspaper in Red Dead Redemption 2 referring to the events almost identical to the ones in Red Dead Redemption 1. Yeah, so that's really I really, one of the things I want in the next Red Redemption game is for the Blackwater Massacre to be, for us to see it. I want to know, like, personally what happens and how everything goes, but for me personally, that's what I think, and I want to know what you all think in the comments below. Let me know what your theories are about the Blackwater Massacre. Is it as bad as people say, or is it exaggerated like I say in this video? Or, well, like Bill technically, he said it. Bill said this is worse than Blackwater when you're doing the Santini bank job, as you can see in my walkthrough here. Yeah, so basically let me know what you all think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.